Hi friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. Today I wanted to share with you a special project, and before I do that I thought I would just stop and take some time to introduce myself to you, just in case you're new to my channel. So I'm Rita and I love to create card designs, scrapbook pages, and 3D projects, and I like to share them with you in hopes that it will inspire you to create and to share with those that matter in your life. And so before we get started with my project today, I also wanted to remind you that your likes and comments are very much appreciated. And if you're watching me here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that icon, notification icon, you'll be notified when I upload new content. If you're watching here on Facebook, please consider following me, and again, your likes and comments are very coveted. So let's get going. So lately I have really been into what we call folios, and so they're kind of mini scrapbooks, I would say. But I've just come to love their design, and today we're going to be using some of this designer series paper. This is my favorite of all of the sheets in this designer series paper. It is called Autumn Toile, and this is by far my favorite. I just really do like the pumpkins. I like the autumn feel, the cornfields, that kind of thing. I really like them. And so, as you know, our designer series paper has two sides. It has an image on one side, and then just kind of a different, just like a print on the other side, so that you can use that whenever. And so there are 3 sheets of each of the designer series paper. And so here's another one. This would be great for a hunting, or I really like this too. So actually I shouldn't even limit it. It's beautiful designer series paper. Here's some with the red foxes. Now, if you got the September paper pumpkin, you would have gotten a kit that helps you make the cards that kind of coordinate with this designer series paper. And I was quite happy to get mine. So here's a card that I created using, here's a card I created using that paper pumpkin. And so you can see it carries the theme of the corn husks along with, the designer series paper. So this designer series paper is more of I want to say let me think. It's more of a crumb cake, and this is more of an early espresso. But you have the same feel. You have the trees and the elk in the background, and then this is very much like my favorite sheet of designer series paper with the corn husks and the pumpkins. And so of course I deviated from it, because I do. When I get my paper pumpkin, I will do my own thing. And so here are some of the pumpkins that came in the kit, and then the little fox. Now, that is the good thing about the paper pumpkins, is if it's a stamping card making kit that requires stamping, you'll get the little stamp set, photopolymer. You'll get, your first time, you'll get a acrylic block, and then you get the ink spot. So this past month in September, it was Cajun Craze, which you can see that repeated throughout the ephemera and different aspects. So this is definitely some of the cards I made. And of course, like I said, I deviate from the directions. Actually, this is pretty close to that direction. I deviate from the directions and kind of do my own thing. But this designer series paper is just kind of a takeoff of that paper pumpkin. And the other thing that was available was some beautiful, beautiful brass. I'm sorry I didn't bring it, but it's some metallic paper that goes along with it. And it goes along with the paper pumpkins as well. So I was looking here to see if I have some of that. I don't. But this is the designer series paper that I used for my project today. And what I'm going to make for you, and hopefully you'll try it out, is a folio. And so a folio is, like I said, a kind of a scrapbook. And I have my sister-in-law in mind. She loves to pray for people, and so he thought it would be kind of fun for her to just kind of have a place where she can go to, like, list those prayer requests. And then also, I think sometimes that we are so into asking for what we need, but I always feel like it's so great to be thankful for what we have. So I'll show you how that's all going to work together. But to start out, you're going to need the base or the cover for the folio, and you really can use any cardstock you want, and you can have any theme you want. You could do pictures, you could do like a scrapbook, you could do recipes, that's another thing. You could do pretty much anything you wanted. But this starts out with two 6.5 by 9.5 pieces of cardstock. And then you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So I did score mine. And then again at 5. So that's going to give you a 1/2 inch for the seam, or for the back, the spine. And then we're going to put these together. So I'll leave that there for a minute if you wanted to jot that down or take a screenshot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put these two pieces together, and that's going to create our book. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I am going to use liquid glue today, but what I like to do most of the time is I like to use a combination of liquid glue and tear and tape on my folios. Because I'm doing a video and because I'm looking down and there is obviously a camera in the middle, I'm going to go the safe route and do the liquid glue. So I'm just going to go around the edges of this one side. So if you think of it as a book, this would be the left side that opens the book. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some adhesive here, and then we're going to, we want that to sit between that score line, which would have been the 5-inch score line if you had it this way. We want it to sit next to that score line. We don't want it to impede that score line, that's for sure. And then we're going to want this to be flush. So we're going to just do that. And so now we have the middle and we have our book, right? And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Now, my book is going to kind of close like this. And so let's go ahead and decorate the inside, because it's easier to do that now than later. Well, actually, let's wait. Let's go ahead and we can, and you could stop here. You don't even have to do 2 of these. You can just do 1, and this would be the one side and then the back side. So you could definitely do that. I just like that middle part, and I'm going to show you why. So you're going to need 2 more pieces of the cardstock, Cajun Craze again. And this measures 6 3/4 by 6.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So like I said, you need 2 of those. So let's see, I do have that score mark here. I was kind of questioning myself for a moment. And it's okay that they're a little different. You see that this is wider. It's okay. And I'll show you in a minute why it's okay. I did just have this as a leftover piece and thought to leave it, but you could definitely cut it down and that would be fine. All right, so this is going to become the pocket, and it's going to fit on the edges like this. So here's what I had to think about. I wanted this pocket to be a little wider because it's going to hold another little book for my sister-in-law. And so that's why this is wider. So let's go ahead and put this on the where it's supposed to live. And we're going to make sure that that doesn't impede that score line here, right? Same thing. And we want this to be flush. So let's see. I think it might be going over my score line, and it was. So there we go. There's the score line. And then here's the cardstock. Okay, and so there we go with that. And then this will fold over like this to become a pocket. But let's go ahead and do this side while we're over here, while we're doing this. And so that will have a chance to kind of dry before we do some other things with that. So I'm just going to maneuver my folio so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. And again, we don't want this to impede that score mark. Whoop, I put it the wrong way. That's okay, good thing I caught it. So we don't want this to impede that. Now this other part is sticky, so I want it to be flush too. So I'm not, once you stick it down like that, you don't quite have that ease in manipulating with the glue. So sad thing, I guess. Now let's go ahead and decorate this, because once we put these flaps down, it's too difficult to decorate. So what I've done is I've taken 2 pieces of that gorgeous designer series paper, and I've cut that into, well, it's not glued down, so I cut that into 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Now let's go ahead and adhere that down. Let's see here. This one is adhered down, but maybe I didn't do this, and I don't know why. Maybe I wanted you to, it's not like you don't know how to adhere these down, but I try sometimes to do these ahead of time so you don't have to sit and watch me do something that you do over and over and over, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I want that border to be even all the way around. That looks good. Okay, and so this is going to be our more narrow. So I'm going to use this right here, and then I'm going to use this right over here. So let's go ahead and adhere them down. Let's see here. They're both the same size, although one looks bigger than the other. One is a little bit bigger. We just want to make sure it doesn't impede, so we're okay. So let's go ahead, and this is the measurement you want to cut though, so I don't know how that happened. Who knows? And so again, we're just going to, we don't want to impede with that fold. And so let's see, where is that score line? We need to move it over. I was kind of worried that it wasn't straight there. Okay. And then this is going to fold over like that. So let's go ahead and put this one down too. And then we're going to do those pockets. So this is a really, this really goes quickly. So I think that's a good thing, because you could make quite a few of these. Now I made her one for Christmas, so she'll have one for Christmas, and this will be like one for November, so she can do these monthly, and that might make a little more sense in just a minute. But we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the edges, and we only need to put it on the sides here. And we're going to go ahead and fold that over. And I am going to take my little bone folder, and I don't like this sticking out, so I'm going to try and hopefully I don't get glue all over. Okay, and then let's go ahead and seal this up as well. So again, this is our bigger, wider pocket. I did have a reason for that, and I'll show you. And it does look odd, but you don't have to make them. You can make those pockets the same size. Just depends on what you want to do. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and make sure that that is stuck down. And now I don't want to just leave these blank. So I love the Cajun Craze. I love this, but I think it can become overwhelming. So what I did is I had one sheet of 6x6 of the Timeless Plaid that has the Cajun Craze. And so I'm going to go ahead and use this. And so we're going to just put that here. I'm going to just put it right here. And let's see here. It doesn't have much of a border, and that's okay. I don't really, it's not necessary. There is a lot of Cajun Craze going on, so I'm not sure that it's necessary. And I will tell you this, that these two panels are exactly the same size. So this is a little bit bigger than the pocket that it's laying on, and that is okay. It's just I didn't need that big of a pocket for what I'm going to put in here. All right, so now let's go ahead and put this on the other side. And also remember, you know, even if you didn't intend to do this, know that when we're crafting, that you can always fix things. So just know that. And let's see here. I have a couple of these bone folders laying here, so some of them are ones that I don't use often. Now when you have a little bit of this glue poking out, go ahead and get your glue eraser and take care of it right away. You know, one of the things when so I had cataracts and I was actually blind for a while, but I still kept doing my craft. And when I looked at some of those projects that I made, I was like, overwhelmed, because I could see some of the adhesive had oozed out, and I was, you know, I thought, oh my gosh. But so you just want to clean it up while you're going. All right, so here's where we're going to stop for a moment. I do have some more of this paper that is kind of extra that I was thinking about using up. And so I want to do that for the inside here. And of course you can tell that it is the same. I just want to make sure that it doesn't impede that. So it is. So we're going to have to cut some of it. So let's see here, or we could overlap it, which I don't really want to do. So let's see, I'm going to have to take off about 1/2 inch. So let's get our trimmer. I just didn't want to waste this because I actually had used this. I was going to use this for these panels, but I just felt like I needed something just a little different. So we'll just cut this part off right here. And then this should work just fine. Let's see. And it does. Perfect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lay this on here. You could put on the green, if you wanted, the Mossy Meadow as a background like we have here, but I thought I wouldn't do that because this is going to get quite chunky. So let's go ahead and put this on here. Again, I don't want to go past that score line. Okay, and then we'll do this side. And now if you miss these measurements, you will be able to go to my website and you'll be able to get them from there. I am going to tell you that it can take me just a day or two to get those posted. So, you know that. Don't get too frustrated if you go there today and they're not on there. All right, so there we have the inside completely done, and it's okay that we have a little bit of a seam there. I'm going to show you why in just a second. Now, one of the things I wanted to add in the middle was this little notepad. I had used it before and then decided not to. So it has some tear and tape on it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue because it already has some sticky on it. And I'm going to put this right in the middle here. So there we go with that. I'm going to move these. Again, you can get those measurements on the website. And then I'm going to show you what I'm putting in the pocket. So I did a little like prayer journal for her. And so this is the Cajun Craze, and then on the inside I just left this blank. She can put on it whatever she wants. But then I just went ahead and listed these for her. So she has her list to write and then what she can be thankful for. And this is going to sit right, it actually can sit right over here. Or it can sit right over here, whichever. I'm scared to pull this up because we just put that glue there. So let's let the glue, but this is going to sit right here. And then I also went online and I printed off some memory verses. And so I just put those on a tag. Now, we got a tag with the Festive Friends stamp set and bundle. And so here is that die. And I just, die cut some tags. And then I just glued those memory verses on here. So I printed them off the computer. This is some very old ribbon, so I was glad to be able to use it. It matches well with the rest of the things, the rest of the paper and stuff. So I'm going to stick these right in here. And they fit great. You can kind of stagger them so it's not like just all in the middle. So there's that. And I think what I'm going to do, this should fit, but I might have put too much glue in there. I think I did. So let me just take my bone folder and see if it's dry enough yet. And this is big. So I did stitch this. You could use a rubber band, but I did stitch this. And what I did was I took my Take a Pick tool, so it has a pokey end, and I just poked 3 holes. This is an inch from each side and then right in the middle. And then I just took my needle and just kind of stitched it. I started in the middle, went over to this side, came back up the middle, and then came down this side. And so there it is. It's stitched together. You could use a rubber band if you wanted to. And I'm going to cut this down a little because I really do want to put it in there so we can finish today. And where shall I cut it? I'm going to cut it right here. Just a little. It's a lot of work on my trimmer here, but our trimmers can handle it. So let's see if this works better. There we go. All right. So this is in there, and then this is going to close like this, and then like this, and then like this. But we need, I'm going to wait. I'm just not pushing this. So we want this to be just like this, right? We want those spines to sit up. And so we're going to need to do a closure. And so here's what I have for the closure. This is very old ribbon. I know we've had it for a long time. So I don't even know the name of it, but it was always so wide that I never could think, I mean, it's just too wide for a bow on a card, right? So I don't know. It's been that long that I don't remember, but it'll work fine for this. So let's go ahead and put some tear and tape right here. I just need a little bit. That's what I love about the tear and tape. And I'm trying to put this straight. Okay, and we'll take a pick tool and we'll lift that up. You want to be sure and get your tear and tape down good, or you'll just be pulling it up. And then we can just take our ribbon, and I want it to be even here, so let's see. And then it can just get adhered down with that tear and tape. And then the beauty of this is that you can keep this straight by when you tie it, right? So let's go ahead and decorate this front though. And I wanted to use some of that gorgeous designer series paper that we had, but I kind of wanted something different to kind of go with it. So what I did is I cut these two pieces to be 4 by 5 1/4, and then these are 2 by 4 1/4. I'm going to put them together. So that just kind of breaks up all of this, and you'll see why I really felt like I needed to do that. So let's go ahead and put this on now. I'm going to put this first because then I'm going to put that brown piece on top of it. And I'm really loving these folios. For a while I had stopped, just had kind of taken a break in making them, but I'm really enjoying it. They used to be kind of considered like junk journals, but we're getting very sophisticated with them, so I'm glad to see that. All right, and then this is going to fit right here on top, just to break that up so that we have a little bit of different print. And I got a little lax with my adhesive there, so we want to definitely get enough of that on there. Now here's the front, but we want to do that back too, right? So we didn't really need the tear and tape on here. We're going to go ahead and put this on the back. And like I said, you don't need to make it a 3-fold. You could just make it just one card with the two panels. So it's totally up to you. Totally up to you. And I do love this designer series paper. I really do. Okay, and let's just go ahead and tie it up because we're going to decorate the front here. And this ribbon, I think what I remember too about the ribbon is that it frayed a lot on the edges. So, you know, she's probably only going to use this for a month anyway, because she might keep it as a keepsake, and I probably would if I were her, but it only needs to be functional for maybe a month. So it's okay if it gets kind of raveled, I think. And I can put I had some no fraying stuff that I could put on there too as well, so I could do that. Now I have some things I wanted to decorate this with. I used my Spotlight in Nature, of course. As you follow me, you'll see that that is one of my favorite circle die sets, and we're going to decorate this. Now, I am going to glue these on there because our project is pretty chunky, and so I'm not going to mail this, but I'm not looking for a lot of, I don't want to make it too heavy is my idea. And so this is going to sit right in the middle here. What I wanted to do with that is I have a bunch of things that I've die cut. The beautiful autumn or beautiful pumpkins comes with a die set that is so perfect for these pumpkins. So you could see how it kind of gives the lines of the pumpkin. And I'm hoping that you can see that. There you go, a little bit with the light. So you can see that. So there are those, and I just cut out a few because I don't know how many I'm going to want. You know, I might have, this might be too big, but these might be fine. I just wanted to put some pumpkins on there because there are those pumpkins. So we're just going to kind of play with it, and I'll show you what I've cut out. I don't know. We'll look and see. Maybe we only want 2, and then we can use the other things that I've cut out. So I did cut out also some leaves from different colors. So let's just kind of play with this and see what we come up with. I know that we're doing good on time here, so I'm not feeling too bad about that. But let's just kind of, before we glue anything down, let's just kind of work on it. I do want to glue down the tops of the pumpkins though, so let's go ahead and do that. I think that green will I like to see kind of all the colors before I make a decision. So let's see here. I should get out my craft mat here because I want, oh shoot, I wanted that texture. Well, maybe I could save it. Okay. So, yeah, I like to see all my colors together before I make decisions of what I want to glue down. So let's see, I should have a little stem. Here's one, but that's not the little one. Well, here's another one. So oh, here it is. I knew I had a little one. So we're going to, this one doesn't need very much glue. I can always cut the rest of that Cajun Craze off there so it's not showing. There we go. All right, so I guess I don't need this unless I put another pumpkin, but I'm thinking that a couple of pumpkins might be more than enough on here. So let's see, if we put this pumpkin here and maybe this one behind it. I have some leaves that can go with the pumpkin. I also have some fall leaves that I thought I wanted to put on here just to give it some color, so that everything is kind of not drab. So I wish that we were live because then we could, you could tell me what you think. So let's see, maybe we'll put this here, maybe like that. I have some different colors of these leaves. Maybe we want this up a little. Okay, I know it's not even. We're just kind of playing right now. And then I did cut out of the gold This die comes from the Changing Leaves die, so it has this little die right here, and that's what this gold one comes from. And I just thought that this might look good in here. So, also we have some little like vines that we can put on here. So there's that as well. I just don't want to have too much on here, but oops, that's a I also have this darker one, which I don't think we want to use. All right, so what do you guys think? Yeah, let's go ahead and start gluing down. Maybe do we only want 2 pump? Well, those are the same size. Okay. And I don't know what I'm going to put, what I'm going to stamp there. That I don't know. So, oh, here's another leaf. I knew I was thinking, didn't I do some more? All right, so let's go ahead and start putting things down now. So with these pumpkins, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down so that we can build off of it. But I don't want to put glue all the way around there because I do want to be able to stick things up there. So let's go ahead and kind of maybe do something like that. How's that? Maybe like that. And maybe like that. And then I'm thinking we might want to just go ahead and stick these on here. It's been a long time since I've been in a pumpkin patch. I can't remember exactly how they look, but let's see what we can do here. I like to sometimes, just so you know, I like to sometimes put a little bit of glue on my craft sheet here so that I can see that it's coming out, because I'm going to dab the glue on this very thin vine. So there's that. I think I'll go ahead and put a leaf. Now I can pick up some of that glue. I'm going to put a leaf right here on my pumpkin. All right, and then I think I'll do one more little vine from this guy, but whoop, that didn't have any glue on it, I guess. Let's get him down. Whoa, now he has too much. Okay. And how many of you joined our crafting class yesterday? That was a great class. Great class. Okay, so we pretty much have the pumpkins down now. I think that we can get rid of some of these other things that went with the pumpkins, just so they're not in the way. And I think that we can start laying our leaves. So what I was thinking is I want these bright colors kind of where that brown part is. So we have the orange, the yellow, just kind of stick them there. The Blackberry Bliss, the brown, the green, I'm going to kind of put them in groups, and then this gold can be right there. Yeah, that's okay. Let's do it that way. All right. So here we go. Now this color that I'm using right here is the same color as that circle, which is the basic beige. And I love it. So it's kind of between a very vanilla and a white, so that's kind of nice. And I did tell you I made one of these for her with a Christmas theme, and so I used the traditions of Christmas for that. And it actually turned out quite nice. Okay, let's see here. So Easter might be fun, spring might be fun. I just, the possibilities are endless. But I like that she'll have, you know, it'll be something fun for her. You could, I'm also going to, on the Christmas version that I already have boxed and waiting to go to her, I added a few cards that she can send out. And like thinking of you cards that had that theme, the Christmas theme. So okay, one more. I thought I had one more. Here I do. Of these gold, from the gold foil. So when I use my gold foil, I try to be very thrifty with it, just because it is so precious. But so if I, what we call gut, so if I cut something out and I leave the middle, I save the middle that I maybe don't need for whatever I'm cutting out, then I can use it for these kinds of things. Okay, so, you know what? I like it. I don't know if you like it. I'll get that journal in there when I'm feeling that that's dry enough. And there we go. And I wanted to show you my circle dies. These are the two dies I used for the circles. This bigger one for the green, which is Mossy Meadow, and this for the basic beige. And they are my Spotlight on Nature circle dies. And of course I use them for everything. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you like this little folio, and you could definitely, you know, just do your own theme. You could copy this, whatever works for you is fine. I did want to tell you that we could use some of these little gems to decorate the outside. So I like these. These are the faux glass dots, so we could definitely use some of these. There's that Cajun Craze, there's the Mossy Meadow, or we could use, these are gold adhesive back dots. I think that I don't want to use those. And then these are really old, so I don't know, but I like the pearly kind of thing there. So I'm thinking let's use some Cajun Craze here. We'll just put, we have medium, large, and small. So we'll just put some of those here. And then how about a Mossy Meadow somewhere? Maybe right here. We can put some of these pearly ones as well. We could put these down on the brown part right here. So 1, 2, 3, I like to do odd numbers, so we can put one more. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and open it up, put my journal in it, and get those boxed up and out to my sister-in-law. But I really want to thank you for stopping by to visit. I did want to show you one other of the using that same designer series paper. This is another 3-fold. So I have a little book here that I took out, so I'm kind of revamping this, but there you go. So if you want the measurements and how I did this, you can definitely go to Rita's Paper Motif, and there you can get all of those measurements. So thank you so much for visiting me today, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye now.